Happy midweek check-in. All right, this is a midweek self-care check-in where we take a moment to pause and reflect on how we've been treating ourselves up to this point this week, because we still got a little bit of week left. And if you need to, revamp your self-care routine or start one, this is going to remind you to do it. All right, I'm Demita. I'm the host of the Self-Care Revolution podcast. If you're not following the podcast, make sure you are, okay? You can find us on Apple and Spotify, and I just now started this YouTube page for the podcast, so this is one of our new homes. So welcome, and welcome to the first midweek self-care check-in that we're going to put on YouTube, okay? Now, the midweek self-care check-in, what is it, right? Basically, it's a day in the middle of the week after the week has started and gotten crazy and all types of stuff has been happening. It's a day in the middle of the week to be like, hold up, how we treating ourselves? All right, that's what it is. So we take a quick look, ask ourselves this question, right? Or it's going to be a version of this question, right? What's one thing that you've done this week for yourself so far? That's not for nobody else. That's for yourself, right? That poured into you, all right? That did not drain you. Put that in the comments below, because that's going to be our reflective point. How are we doing so far this week? Because if you haven't done anything for yourself, that's where, we're going to talk about that as well. Because looking back on your week helps you to realize whether you're leaving yourself on the back burner or whether you're putting everybody before you, and it kind of lets you know where your energy is going, okay? So I want y'all to get in the comments below. Let me know what's one thing you've done for yourself this week so far that uplifted you, that poured into you, and things like that, okay? Because a lot of people think that self-care is this huge, hard work, and no, it's really not hard. The hard part is being consistent about it, but it's so easy to focus on yourself, but we often forget because we're trying to do stuff for other people. So anyway, what I want you to do for this week, I want you to pick one area of your self-care, right? One area of either mental, physical, spiritual. Pick one of those areas and focus on that. What can you do? What small thing can you do this week for that area, right? And next week we're going to talk about it. So, pick one area that needs some TLC and let me know. It could be sleep, you know what I'm saying? It could be hydration, like nutrition. It could be movement. It could be your prayer life, whatever, right? You could go to bed 15 minutes early one night, or just a 10-minute walk. My point is, pick one area, focus on that for the next week, and then when we come back next week and we ask these questions, we'll see what your answers are and see how you feel about it, okay? So now, I do want to leave y'all with a bit of encouragement, because it's 2025, okay? I always say that our parents did not have nearly as much to think about, stress about, complete all these Zoom meetings. They didn't have all these things, right? So we have a huge amount of, people asking for our time, okay? So, but I want you to know, my encouragement for this week is that you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to have it all figured out. Even some of the most successful people do not have it all figured out. They're figuring it out on the fly, right? Not on the fly as in they don't know what they're doing, but they're taking it one day at a time. And I guarantee you that all of those successful people have one thing in common, and it's their mindset and how they talk to themselves and what they pour in and how they pour into themselves. Okay, so I just want you to understand that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have a full whole plan or whatever. You just need one action. You need to start it and then focus on that, right? Because then you can build on that. If you're focusing on that one action, that's going to move you forward. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to leave you with that, all right? Drop your self-care wins in the comments, because we all want to cheer you on. Self-care is not a destination. It is a journey. A journey meaning it's going to be happening your whole life. There's always something for you to focus on when it comes to your self-care and your well-being, okay? So drop your self-care wins in the comments. And if you want to hear the full mid-year self-care audit that we did, check out episode 16 of the podcast and let me know what you think. Okay, so that's our midweek self-care check-in. All right, quick, simple, and all about keeping you consistent with focusing on yourself. That's really all it's about, okay? Connecting to you, all right? So meet me back here next week, all right? It's going to be Wednesdays. I'm going to try to do it at 12 noon. All right. If you took one small thing away from this video today, I want you to share it with a friend. I want you to put in the comments down below, I got something. Okay. So we can cheer each other on, because like I said, it's a community effort. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast channel so that you don't miss next week's check-in. All right. Also, check out the latest podcast episode for a deeper dive into a self-care audit that we did. It's basically a couple of questions, okay, that you're going to ask yourself so that you can refocus your thoughts on yourself and see how you can do more self-care, because the more self-care you do, the better everything else is. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself. I'm your girl Demita, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.